So, have you ever been spoken over in a meeting or presentation? Now, I think it's safe to say that most women have been. And according to the McKinsey report, I imagine you might be familiar with it, but it came out for 2020, 2021. And, as you well know, the pipeline for women in leadership, female leaders, and emerging leaders, it is diminishing rather than growing. So we want to make sure that we do something about that. And a great place to start is to make sure that your voice is heard and that you not only have a seat at the table, you have a voice at the table. And let's start off with how not to be spoken over in meetings or presentations. Now, here's the thing. There's a couple things that we can do to take personal responsibility for having a voice in these meetings. Now, the first thing is really to do some pre-planning. In other words, think of one big ask that you can make of either a peer or even better of leadership who's going to be in the meeting, and pull them aside prior or communicate with them in whichever way that you can, sharing about what you have to say, why it's important to you, and also how it benefits the organization. And also, what is the big ask of them? Like, be very clear and articulate and explicit about how they can be an ally for you during the meeting if you're getting spoken over or any of this happens. Also, maybe how they can spotlight you if you don't have the opportunity to speak up or if it's difficult to do so. So the first thing is prepare by making a big ask, but also prepare for that conversation as well. Be very clear and explicit about who that person is, and as well as how he or she can support you during that meeting, as well as also what you have to say and why it's meaningful to you as well as the group. The second thing is, consider this. World-class performers, they don't wing it. Olympians, for example, they don't just practice their entire life for an event and then just go out and run their race in the Olympics. And we want to make sure that when something comes up for you that's your Olympics, when you have a platform and have something to say, we want to make sure that you don't wing it either. So in addition to making a big ask and preparing with communicating and getting the support of a leader prior to a meeting or a peer, you also want to form a pod. In other words, I call them practice pods. It can be one person, two people, three people, what have you, but you want to practice what you have to say. And you can tell your pod to help you out by really pushing you and asking you questions, and maybe asking why it's important, and then maybe also saying, I don't understand, can you explain more? And then maybe even instructing them to give you some negative pushback, like, I'm not sure that what you're saying makes a lot of sense to me, or I don't think your numbers or reports make sense. So instruct them to be negative as well. So you have really a 360 preparation in a very safe space. So this way you can do everything that's within your power to be prepared so you don't get spoken over and you have the impact that you want and deserve. Now, if this topic is really resonating with you, this is just a small sliver. I have, a good handful of speaking engagements coming up this quarter for Oracle and Insight and Women in Technology and Women in Construction East Bay, and the list kind of goes on. If I can serve you or your organization in helping you individually to do this, or helping your organization as a group to learn how to do this, I would love to help you any way I can, and there is a way that you can reach out to me directly below. Keep up all of your amazing work, and I hope that our paths connect again soon.